This is an interesting one here. In collaboration, Google and Georgia Tech have developed new AI tools for decoding dolphin communication. So why that's important? Decoding dolphin language is important because it can reveal insights into their complex social structures, cognitive abilities, and overall underwater world. Understanding dolphin communication can also lead to advancements in marine conservation efforts or understanding of animal intelligence in general. Let's see how it works. The AI actually identifies patterns in dolphin vocalizations and predicts what sounds might come next, similar to how large language models process human language. It can generate new dolphin-like sound sequences, potentially allowing researchers to talk back to their own dolphins or in their own language using that acoustic language of theirs. It uses advanced audio technologies such as SoundStream, Tokenizer to replicate authentic dolphin sounds. Let's see, and the tool is actually called Dolphin Gemma, which it also accelerates data analysis, revealing all those patterns over time. And the project aims to link specific vocalizations to behaviors like mother-calf calls and mating displays, deepening our understanding of the dolphin society. They're also developing a wearable device called Chat that uses AI-generated dolphin sounds to refer to specific objects, enabling more interactive studies and open access. I've got kind of an interesting, weird, related story. The guy that I knew who was a like a master's student in marine biology, he was actually involved for a little while with the U.S. Navy with dolphins used in a military sense, where they could identify harmful objects in the ocean or even track things like submarines and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, their range is incredible, and obviously we know they're hyper intelligent, so this one's going to be an interesting one to keep track of. It'd be awesome to actually be able to communicate like Dr. Doolittle with the dolphins, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I do not think we are far from that, right? Like, because so for example, AI already is able to generate sounds, right? So it's a matter of identifying the, I'm not sure if we should term it tonality, but it's just a matter to identify how they communicate with each other, and then AI was going to be able to make an analysis of the whole range of communication that they have, and then but then replicate accordingly. Yeah, it sounds like just like everything else, of course. It sounds like science fiction, but I see it very feasible because they study of, this is a thing, they study of the way animals communicate. That's a thing I believe as far back as man tried to observe animals, I would say. But even recently, not to go that far back, I remember there was a bunch of those documentaries of how apes live, how apes conquer each other, so on and so forth, and they would observe the subtlety, and sometimes not that subtle, the way they communicate with each other. Like if they're advancing towards an enemy kind of group, or if all the relations for food, for dispute, internal dispute as well, so on and so forth. Like let's term it family relationships, which is like the mother to the son, and so on and so forth. So all the way they communicate, either through sound or the way they articulate, all those things, they were observed. And AI, it's kind of amazing in this aspect because AI is going to be able to absorb and not absorb. I'm not sure if absorb is the right manner, but make an analysis of their sounds and then replicate. And then it will be a matter of just the translation, right? So Not sure. Excuse me. Do you think that makes sense? It's kind.
Yeah,
What do you
totally.
think?
I mean, when I think about work that's been done in communicating with animals, I often think about like Coco the gorilla, where the gorilla could actually use sign language to communicate. Pretty really fascinating stuff.
Exactly. I once you start talking about Coco, that's exactly what I thought, right? Like the sign languages, which I even forgot. So yeah, they are able to communicate. There's a funny comment here, right? It will be interesting to see what they think about us once they start communicating with us, right? That's funny.
Yeah, and I think a few other things I'd be real curious about too. I think we've identified that different pods of dolphins and different pods of killer whales, they do kind of have unique communication, maybe almost like different dialects
Mm-hmm.
from other pods. So it would be neat. I mean, I'd be really interested to see where those variations are, and even how they communicate with other pods potentially. And I just keep going back to, they say we know less about the world's oceans than we do about outer space.
That is true.
Nothing travels so
Trying to get some water here.
yeah, dramatically. Like dolphins have an incredible range. They can go really deep. And same for killer whales. I'm sure that if this is successful with dolphins, it'll be successful with other creatures as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I just took a shower here. Don't mind me. uh, man,
Like,
this
what
is
if he could actually understand whale speak, as it were? And I mean, you got sperm whales that are going super super deep in the ocean after those giant squid. And
yeah.
what are they talking about down there?
I mean, two different things, right? Like, and let me break some hearts here. What if they don't, right? What if they just communicate just for directions and things like that? It can also be that simple, right? Like, because I remember, so for example, the sign language it's a very good example because it shows that they basically communicate with things that are very straightforward, like give me food, I'm hungry, so on and so forth. And that's, by the way, I don't know if we are going a little bit sidetracking from AI, but I remember that one characteristic that humans have that apes don't have, and that's not using tools, because apes use tools, but not the way we do use, but is that of guide. So for example, me and Noah is here, I point the finger to the screen and Noah look at the screen and we get to an understanding of what that third element is. So apes do not have that capacity of recognize a third thing in a understanding manner. Like, of course, it can recognize if there is a lion coming to that direction or a tiger or something like that. They can see that and they can kind of conciliate, I guess, but they cannot guide their attention to something in a explaining manner, I guess. They can imitate, they look and they imitate, but they cannot express in a different sense of a third thing. Just through imitation, I guess. That's where I'm trying to get. So the opposite can be true. Like, it can be very extremely simple, but we might get there. Maybe the expectation that it's going to be something very interesting is better than the reality that they just communicate just directions, or we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah. I really don't think we are far away, because we kind of have like the vocabulary, the way they communicate with each other in a broader sense. It's more complex to get to understand it, but with AI I think it's going to be like just as talking with ChatGPT to translate something from one language to another.
Yeah,
I think we're close.
One thing that would be interesting, I know I've seen the dolphins use methods with their pod where they actually kind of corral smaller fish into an air, almost like a ball, and then they go ahead and they have lunch basically on those things. But I would imagine there has to be directional communication, is, hey, you break left, I'll break right, and we're going to circle back, and this is how this is going to work.
That's
kind of a thing,
complexity,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the content from the short and you want to see more like it, click here. If you want to see the full podcast, click here. Be sure to like and subscribe.